Right. I think we're live. Push one in the chat if you can hear me. All right. Thank you for the confirmation. Welcome back to the Black Brain Trust. This is episode 553. Black Tech Talk. Please hit the like button as you come in. Share the video if possible. Hit that notification bell so you get all the updates from the Black Brain Trust, including those posted on the community tab. There's a document description beneath the video for you to follow along with. If you want to engage in discussion, there'll be a link in the chat. You click on the link. Make sure you raise your hand so that one of us can acknowledge you and advance you to the panel. Also, there's a new Zoom update out. Make sure you download the latest Zoom update before you join the panel. Should be 5.0.5. If you're trying to get into IT for the first time, we do offer IT mentorship. If you're trying to go from one IT role to another, we do offer IT coaching. If you have any questions about resumes, cover letters, and wages and salaries, we do offer advice in that area. All right. I'll give a shout out to people who came in here first. Daniel Tucker, good morning. Julian M, peace to you. New Jersey Prophet, peace to you as well. Cyber Simone, welcome to the channel. DJ Moss, peace. Jackson J, peace. Daniel Tucker, called you out already. Aquateki, peace. And Mike Shinnery, peace. So, all right, let's get into this, man. Let me get started with the first item on the docket. And let me drop the link in the chat for you all who are waiting to get on. Terrence says peace. All right. All right, let's get started real quick, man. I'm not going to spend too much time on this first initial article. We kind of know what's going on. But I thought it was relevant for what's happening today. Black Enterprise, this is from Black Enterprise. Black Facebook employees say the tech giant empowers racism against its employees of color. It looks like Facebook has a black problem at its corporate office once again. Earlier this month, Black employees who work at the tech giant wrote an open letter to the company stating that every day they feel as if they don't belong there. In an article posted on Medium, an anonymous letter stated that the grievances people of color face at Facebook. I'm not going to read into all of that. No one at Facebook or anywhere should have to put up with this behavior. We are sorry. Bertie Thompson The vice president of corporate communication said in a statement, "It goes against everything we stand for as a company. We're listening and working hard to do better." The letter has even pointed out that things have actually gotten worse in the past year. There may be a few more posters on the wall, but there may be an effort to recruit diverse talent, but not much has changed to ensure that people are recognized, empowered, and overall treated equitably by their managers and peers. In fact, things have gotten worse. It's as if a time machine took Facebook back into November of 2018. Last year, there were allegations from former Facebook manager Mark Lucky accusing the company of failing its Black employees and users in a memo before he left the company. Okay, so this is the type of stuff that's been going on for a while now in tech, and especially amid the protests that you see right now and demonstrations that you see right now. This is still a widespread problem. It's not just a police problem, you know, in terms of law enforcement, but it's also a corporate problem as well. So keep that in mind going forward. All right. All right, please hit the like button if you're not going to participate in the chat. We got 24 people watching and only 14 likes. All right, move on to the next article. Next item on the docket is from dice.com, Python certifications. 4 big questions answered. Expand this out. Are Python certifications worth obtaining? Python is one of the most widely used programming languages on earth. Not only is it a popular generalist language, but it has crept steadily into highly specialized segments. For example, it's overtaken R as the data science language of choice for many companies. In other words, those interested in Python development jobs can find lots of opportunity to use their skills, but is a certification necessary for a career in Python related development? That's a trickier question to answer. At the moment, Python developers are in high demand. Burning Glass, which collects and analyzes millions of job postings from across the country, projects that Python developer jobs will grow 30.7% over the next decade. Currently, time to fill open Python developer positions is 38 days, indicating that employees are expending a lot of time and effort to find available candidates. For Python developers, this is good news. The median Python developer salary, again, according to Burning Glass, is $99,811 per year. To land a development job and that level of compensation, however, you'll need to prove you have the right mix of abilities and experience. Here are some of the skills cited most often in Python developer job postings. So a specialized skill is Python, and the baseline is communication skills. For SQL, it's teamwork and collaboration. Software development is writing. So you got to have pretty good grammatical writing skills in English and kind of command English language. Java is problem solving. Django, troubleshooting, because Django does tend to have a lot of problems. Linux is research, a lot of Googling and reading the man pages. Okay. JavaScript is creativity. So the ability to design a web page, JavaScript comes in handy is that. If you have some combination of those skills, though, do you still need to seek out a formal certification of some sort in order to lock down a job? Let's dive in. There's no official Python certification. At one point, this Python Software Foundation was discussing it in an official certification, but those plans were discontinued. However, many companies and online instructors have stepped up with their own Python certifications. Short answer, lots. As mentioned above, the lack of official Certification means that others are free to craft their own certifications for Python-based coursework. The nonprofit Python Institute, for example, offers PCPP 1, Certified Professional in Python Programming 1, 2, and PCAP, which is Certified Associate in Python Programming, and PCEP, which is Entry-Level Python Programmer Certification. Microsoft also offers certification titled Microsoft Technology Associate 9831-381, Introduction to Programming Python, which certifies the bearer knows how to write, understand, and modify Python code. The EDX platform links to a variety of courses from IBM, Berkeley, and other schools and companies. These courses, in turn, can yield professional, often highly specialized certificates. Dedicated online learning portals also have certifications of completion, including Udemy and Coursera. The good news is that many of these certifications focus granularly on some aspect of Python development, such as data science, which means you can tailor your education and certification pathway to meet your career's exact needs. The cost of getting a certification in Python varies widely from platform to platform. For example, Udemy's courses are typically around $200, though it routinely has sales that bring the cost down to $10 per course. Coursera, meanwhile, offers a $399 annual subscription program that includes the courses co-offered via the aforementioned University of Michigan. At the Python Institute, it costs $195 to take the PCPP1 and PCPP2 exams, $295 for the PCAP exam, and $59 to take the PCEP exam. With many online portals, you can also take coursework for free, although you won't earn the certification itself. If you feel that demonstrating a Python-related skill set is enough to land a job without needing certifications, you may want to consider taking courses for free to build up your knowledge. Is it worth getting a Python certification? If you're already a Pythonista and want a certificate to add to your resume, that's great. Although a Python certification won't hurt your chances of landing a job or securing a promotion, our analysis of burning glass data suggests that certifications isn't a crucial factor for many employers. As with many other technology segments, it all comes down to whether you can demonstrate your skills. So we've talked about this many times before. Do you need, or is there a Python certification? And if there is, should you get the certification? Here's how I see this. I think that certifications have their place in operations, right? In IT ops. But I think when it comes to Python, if it doesn't come from a legitimate organization like Microsoft or Oracle or Facebook or something like that, I don't think that you need to be Python certified, because languages change. If I go to another organization and they use Java, my Python certification wouldn't matter. If they use C# at another organization, that certification is not going to matter in Python. That's not going to do any good for you. So I think what some of these non-profit and non-sanctioned groups are trying to do with Python certification is to actually create a barometer for where people are skill-wise with Python. Because anybody can say, yeah, Python is my favorite coding language, but their code may be sloppy. Okay, well, how do you measure that? Well, you might interview them in the interview, but if you have a certification that can verify that their code is not sloppy, that takes a lot of the guesswork out before the interview even starts, right? If I'm looking for a Windows administrator, I might look for a person who's MCSA. Okay, If I'm looking for a network administrator, I might look for a CCNA guy or person. Those certifications make sense in those areas, but I think what they're trying to do is do the same thing with Python, because it's a popular language, like the article says, but when it comes to Python, how do you determine who's entry level, who's an expert, so on and so forth? There has to be some kind of measure to their work without ever talking to them, okay?
Would that be like your GitHub?
Well, with GitHub, you can copy people's code.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, what's going on, man?
Chilling. What up, bro?
I'm chilling. You have any insight on this you want to add, or what you've heard?
Well, I just came in halfway. I'll go ahead and follow up, starting with the next article. I kind of came in part way because I was working around the house, so I didn't catch the full breadth of everything. But yeah, I'll just starting with the next article.
Yeah, and so just kind of get my closing thoughts on this certification thing. A certification would be a good measure for determining where people are with Python coding. Because there's so many jobs out there and there's so much demand for Python coders. If I just need an entry-level person that's going to write a few bits of code, right, a few lines of code, I don't need, a 10-year experienced Python coder or developer. I don't need that. I don't need to pay somebody $200,000 or $150,000 to write code. I might be able to go down to the local community college and find that person who just happens to be a needle in a haystack, who can write a few lines of code for me, or be a contractor. I might need a 1-year contractor to come in and write some code. Okay, I don't need an expert. I don't need a Pythonista. I just need somebody who can write, who understands Python to the point where they can just write the code necessary for a few IoT applications or something like that. So I think a certification needs to be established based on a little bit more granularization of the language itself. No one ever complains about SQL developers or SQL administrators or something like that having certification. No one ever complains about that. Because anybody can copy code. You know what I'm saying? Anybody can just copy code. And I think that's part of the issue in the industry, is anybody can cheat their way through. Okay. Especially if they've been, around certain groups of people, they can just copy code and run with it and be like, oh, okay, I understand what that does because I asked a few questions. Okay.
What about like a speed test, right? How quickly you could whip up something?
Well, think about it this way from an HR perspective. If I got 10 candidates who say that they know Python and this and that, how do I measure that? If I'm an HR person, I can't really evaluate that other than the certification.
Right? Well, like a speed and efficiency test, right? So you come up maybe with some sort of measure using speed and efficiency of code.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That would make sense for somebody who might be, who might be very literate in that area during the interview. But if I'm an HR person, I don't know anything about Python. How am I supposed to know that?
No, what you do is, much like how if a person is to apply for a job, and let's say they have to take a typing test,
mm-hmm.
right? And so the typing test is accuracy and word count, right? So there's two variables, and it's sort of like it doesn't eliminate you, but what it does is it gives me it puts the marker on the candidate,
mm-hmm.
right? So that I know that, this is what they, on that speed and efficiency test, this is what they scored. And it's not something that eliminates you. It's just, it gives I guess it would provide that data point that you're talking about without requiring a certification per se. I think you would have to institute it at the HR level. And again, like for me, I used to have to do that when I was recruiting in the steel industry. And there were exams, like OSHA type exams, right? For certain types of positions, like metallurgists or some shit. And, you know, it was something that you had to do as part of the application process. Like, you know, I view the resume, I'd say, okay, this person has they have the qualifications there. Okay, now take this test. Right. And then I take the test, the resume, everything, the pre-interview, and I go to the manager, and then we have a talk.
Yeah, that sounds like, you know, in the ideal world, that would be great. But keep in mind in IT, 48 people applied to one role just the other day. 48. Okay, to an engineer role, a systems engineer role. There's no way you're going to get people to comply with it. Herd immunity doesn't work in the tech community like that. So what I'm saying here is,
I was just literally throwing it out there. I'm not saying that, you know, I'm not saying that is you know, something to do. I was proposing it as a possible solution. Like I don't know. I'm just saying in heavy industry we employed it.
Yeah, that's yeah. Yeah, that's cool. But that's what I'm pointing out here is that there is a need for a certification in the regards to like the demand for you know, for entry level Python coders versus a developer. A developer usually can write his own. You know, he can pretty much push his own weight. He doesn't really need to go through a certification. Let's go to Johnny Blaze. He has his hand raised.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Chilling, man.
Hey, I just want to chime in on that certification piece. I asked a question in the chat. Who actually developed the Python language by chance? I don't know if you know that, because I don't. And my thought would be whoever developed this stuff, they would probably be my best guess to actually make the certification.
Not necessarily. It doesn't always work that way. You know, for example, Linux, although Linus Torvalds was the one who developed the language or the operating system, he doesn't necessarily have any input on Linux certifications at all.
Okay.
Yeah, he doesn't really have any input on that. He just kind of developed the operating system, and now everybody is kind of contributes to the operating system. It's because it's open source. There's a lot of eyes on top of it, right? So
okay.
That's the good thing about the open source community, that everybody has a say in the development of it. It's really democratic in that sense. And so anybody trying to slip by any you know, Mickey Mouse sort of BS, it gets scrutinized really quickly. So that happens. But we got Keep It Techie on the panel, as well as Mike Shinnery.
What's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
I'm chilling,
What's
man.
going on, guys?
Hey, what's going on now?
What's up, Mike? So one thing I mean, I guess I could add, that's why and I kind of missed the beginning of the conversation. I just hopped in or whatever in the chat and seeing what y'all were talking about briefly, but that's why I always kind of push people to, you know, go down and create a GitHub and developing, you know, things outside of whatever position that they're working in, especially when it comes to like Python or something. And I kind of look at it as like what you call it, graphics design. You know, most people want to see your work, and they want to and I don't know if jobs can incorporate that some kind of way where you can look at people's portfolio, and GitHub is a good resource for that, or Git Labs, whatever it's called. I never use Git Labs, but you know, that can show your work, so to speak, on developing and actually implementing code into different applications or programs that you may develop, or as well as helping other people develop applications as well that are like open source and everything. So that's that's one point I just wanted to add to what you guys were talking about.
All right, let me go to the next item on the docket from winknews.com. Former inmate finds success as a computer coder entrepreneur. Let me play the video real quick. Hopefully there's no commercials.
At Wink News, we've invested millions in the technology that shows you approaching storms.
We've got to.
Oh, this is too much for me. Anything more than 5 seconds of flim flam, man. It's too much.
Entrepreneur. Wink News reporter Janae Muchmore shows you how he's helping write a comeback story for workers hurt by the pandemic.
While serving 8 years in skill.
I went down to the computer lab, I found me a book on coding, and I started teaching myself. 9 months later, I felt like pretty good and pretty confident.
His new passion fueled by a desire.
One of the ideas was Photo Patch Foundation. The idea was kids can upload photos, type a letter, and press send. It'll come to us, we'll print it all out, package it, and ship it to the prison on behalf of the child, all for free.
To make communicating with his then 3-year-old daughter, JJ, easier.
My mom didn't always have the money to always keep getting stamped and everything.
So when Antoine was released in 2014,
it was a really happy moment for me because I was like, this is my dad standing right in front of me. And I get to hold him.
The two got to work.
It's not having a relationship or a strong relationship for that long was I need something to kind of build this bond with him.
Today, they've helped more than 30,000 kids, but their impact doesn't stop there.
I worked as a surgical assistant for 12 years, and I lost my job March 27th.
And when Antoine found out she lost her job, he jumped in to help.
Reached out. He gave me some things to work on as a virtual assistant. It's been a life changer.
But I wish other people had the same level of confidence. You lose a job and you don't feel worried about it. So that's why we started the Unlock Academy, to help people unlock this new skill set.
Janae Muchmore, Wink News. Now.
And the Unlock Academy is built to teach beginners, coach intermediates, and help those who want to level up in technology.
That's my hero, dog.
Somebody's, damn, was he peeping game? I mean, god damn.
That's my hero, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout outs to this cat, man.
That dude is a hero, man.
No barbershop.
Fuck what the rest y'all talking about, man. Like, yo, this the lick right here, man. This the shit right here.
Yeah, that dude's a hero, man.
Yeah, these are some of my favorite articles right here. Like whenever we see the prison to PC pipeline, because if they're able to get out and make find success in this field, that means, and I don't want to, I'm not saying that it's like they're stupid or anything like that, but that means that anybody can get in here. Anybody can get into IT and find, something that they can find a way to survive, get some success in their life.
Man, look, it's not even a matter of just that. I mean, the brother was able to virtually employ somebody, and just kind of had the foresight and how to leverage somebody's skill set. And he's using, he's using the tech skill sets that he learned while locked behind bars. And that's what that to me, that's that's the mark of what we're trying to push on this platform. This is what we've been doing 2 years in. We have to be tech oriented people. It doesn't matter what you've experienced or what you've come up through to get to this point. This is the paradigm we're in. So the brother came up with something, one, to connect with his daughter, bro. Once I heard that, I'm like, yo, this dude got it, man. He came to some realizations when he was behind there, and he was like, yo, nah, man, this wasn't it. And he saw the way.
Yep. He found a problem and solved it.
He's a hero, man. He helped 30,000 other kids, man. That dude's a hero.
That's what I'm saying, man.
We don't celebrate people like that in our community, man. I just happen to have this in my feed, man. I was like, let me look at this real quick. And I was like, I got to put this on the docket for Saturday. Because I see people in the manosphere spending 12 hours, 14 hours, 24 hours on a live stream, ain't talking about nothing. No offense to those guys, but this dude had all the odds against him, man, and beat every last one of them. When I was on the continent, when I was in Rwanda and South Africa earlier this year, I saw people like him all over the place, man, at these events. Not that they came out of jail, but they came out of, impoverished conditions and learned how to code in Python, man. Python is really big on the continent. It's like the biggest language. And he said he read books. But people want to get mad at me when I read the articles, man. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable, man. Anyways, let me get to the next item on the docket, man. All right, this is from opensource.com, a beginner's guide to everything DevOps. Take a fresh look at why DevOps is important, what it means for IT professionals, and its methods, frameworks, and tools. I won't spend too much time on this because you can read it at your own leisure. This person in the chat is asking, why is he a hero? Are you kidding me? Are you serious?
What?
That's why is he a hero? Where have you been? Under a rock? I don't know, man.
Oh.
Hey, fellas, I appreciate y'all letting me on the channel, man. It's Benny Chain, man. I've been kind of gazing y'all information, and man, I definitely appreciate y'all, man.
Yeah, what it do, Benny, man? What it do?
What's going on, man?
I had a quick question. Just kind of surrounding the whole IT field. I don't want to really go into my situation, but it was something that I was looking at getting into maybe 4, 5, 6 years ago. And then me being the type of person I am, I'm like an information guy. I kind of get to digging. First the money sign kind of flash at me, and I'm like, shit, man, this is where it's at. So education, of course, is next. And by me paying for my own A+ class, I'm sitting in there with a variety of different people, and I realized I was the only jackass that paid for it out of my pocket. But from then on there, I got to talking to more people. They holding this whole little carrot in front of your head, or in front of you. You're going to make 60, 70, 80 grand with these certs and this and that, the whole tidbit. I'm pretty sure y'all understand that. But what I don't want to do is condescend what y'all are putting out there. My real question to where I'm at now, 5, 6 years later, kind of disowning that whole situation, knowing that everybody needs to know some form of IT, and I think that's what that video that you just showed was basically really saying, like, blue collar, white collar, at the end of the day, our average our average culture of folk aren't really too up to date on just basic computers, period. Whether it's programming, whether it's any type of basic IT, borderline A+. But for me in 2020, going into 2021, knowing that they're hiring people from India, paying them $14, $15 to do IT work. I forgot what it's called, 13 something. I can't regurgitate everything I've felt over the years, but I kind of know what's going on. I got people around me who are contractors and hiring people up under them, letting them go. Those contractors aren't able to get more contracts in the certain IT fields. And what I'm realizing, and I should have cut this even shorter. But this is my question, because this is let me know where you guys are at as far as what I'm seeing. How the hell is IT have a future when people got Radio Shack AIs in their houses. People got Toys R Us AIs in their houses. Why is the population thinking that we need more IT when you got a Toys R Us AI in your house? It's a Toys R Us AI that I could talk to and ask.
You need more. You need more IT because you're going to have more IoT.
Well, not just that complex. That's a good point. But you have 1 million jobs that are on that for 2020 that are unfulfilled right now.
But are these just regular management jobs that don't really have anything really to do with IT?
These are operation jobs.
Okay, my bad. Are these regular operation jobs that really don't have a whole lot to do with IT? It's just really over top of what's going on in that realm of what's going on technically with the tech. It's not really building or really improvising. It's really either security or just, hey, did you see that light go off over there? What's going on with that server over there? You see what I mean?
If you want to build something, I would advise that you refer to the article we just covered with the brother who actually did just that. And not only that, so now he becomes the source of all of the positions, say from executive level on down to the IT departments and administrative and the whole nine. And I think that's the greater point that we're speaking to. See, so you kind of sidestep those concerns that you're bringing up when you run the shit. And that's what the last story illustrated. The brother was behind bars, grabbed a book 9 months later, learned a language, created a business, now is able to provide job opportunities. I mean, we kind of just sidestepped all of those concerns that you just brought up. And that's what we are actually pushing. We're actually pushing that we actually get to that point where we don't have to deal with what you just mentioned.
No. And I figured as much. You know, it's just good to hear positivity and really teaching job opportunities where folk might not see it. For me, I'm on a whole nother level of it, and hopefully some people who don't have a opportunity in that field, they'll definitely be able to be placed.
A brother created one in 9 months, man, out of prison, bro. Like, we got to get on the ball.
And that's what I'm saying. I can't cut that down. Someone else who's in the IT field, they would have said that was peanuts of whatever he did. But I'm not going to do that though, because that's not the positive upflow of it. Realizing that it's individuals that can have an actual career field in IT.
I've been in the IT game for over 10 years. He would be considered a phenomenal person in the IT field because of his consciousness. Okay, not just the fact that he taught himself, but his consciousness that plays a significant role in the IT sector. Most companies can't even do what he did. Okay, they talk about diversity and inclusion. He just did that on his own. You got companies with billions of dollars like Amazon that struggle to do what he's doing, what he's trying to do. And he's a one-man person doing it. So that's why I said, he is a select guy, right? He is a pro. To me, I've been in IT for over 10 years, probably close to 15 to 20. And I can tell you right now, somebody like him, I'm the type of person that looks at a person like him and say, yo, I'm recommending him for that next senior job. That's how that works. We need more people like him in the IT industry because we need that diversity. We don't have that, and that's one of the biggest problems in IT. Now, the other half to your question is, are these jobs, are they critical jobs or are they just basic operations jobs? It really doesn't matter. A job is a job in IT. Everybody has a role that they need to play. Let's go to Mike Shinnery. He has his hand up.
Yeah, I wanted to say that was a great question from Benny because Yes, the world is full of IoT, IT stuff in the homes now. But a lot of that stuff was created by people that, soon may be leaving the workforce. We're going to need people to replace them. So it is a benefit for, us, as black men seeing this opportunity come up that, okay, these people are going to be leaving. Who's going to fill that gap? Who's going to fill that role? Whether it be the network engineer, when a business is moving or opening a new building in another city or another country for that matter, somebody's going to need to go there and build that up, so they're going to need people in those roles. And why not it be a black man, whether he came out of prison or, he graduated high school and at 22 years old is really good at what he does. So it's good to see to see the opportunities that are coming. And IT, we talk about money and building all the wealth and all that. That's a great way to get a good pocket full of change.
Yep. Yep. Let me finish reading this article real quick. So what is DevOps? While there is no single definition, I consider DevOps to be a process framework that ensures collaboration between development and operations teams to deploy code, excuse me. Sorry, deploy code to production environments faster in a repeatable and automated way. The word DevOps is an amalgamation of the words development and operations. DevOps helps increase the speed of delivering applications and services. It allows organizations to serve their customers efficiently and become more competitive in the market. In simple terms, DevOps is an alignment between development and IT operations with better communications collaborations. So this is something that we've talked about before, that DevOps is more of a methodology, okay? It's a way of aligning the two separate groups into one group through a continuous integration, continuous deployment process, okay? Let me go down and kind of skip past all this. So traditional process, after placing an order for new service, the development team works on testing. The operations team works on extensive paperwork as required in enterprises to deploy the infrastructure. So in the DevOps process, after placing an order for new service, the development and operations teams work together on the processes and paperwork to set up the new service. The results in better visibility into the infrastructure requirements. Details about failover in the traditional process, redundancy in data center locations and storage requirements are skewed, as no inputs are available from the development team that has deep knowledge of the application. Details about failover, redundancy, disaster recovery, data center locations, and storage requirements are known and correct due to the inputs from the development team in a DevOps process, okay? In a traditional process, the operations team has no idea of the development team's progress. The operation team develops a monitoring plan based on their understanding. So that's in the traditional process. In the DevOps process, the operations team is completely aware of the progress the development team is making. The operations team interact with the development team, and they jointly develop a monitoring plan that caters to the IT and business needs. They also leverage application performance monitoring tools. So that's the DevOps process. There is a synergy between the two teams, whereas in traditional, traditional process, they were decoupled. They didn't even talk to each other. In the traditional process, before going live, the load test crashes the application, which delays the release. In a DevOps process, before the go live, the load test makes the application slow. The development team swiftly fixes the bottlenecks and application is released on time. So IT operations or ops is completely aware of the development during the go live process, okay? And so they can fix at the same time that it's actually deployed. Continuous planning, continuous collaborative development, continuous testing, continuous release and deployment, which is what I mentioned earlier, CI/CD. So if we're looking at this, let me zoom in on this. If we're looking at this DevOps process right here, we see that plan, code, build, test, release, deploy, monitor, and operate is the DevOps process, okay? Plan, code, build, and test happens on the dev side, and on the ops side, release, deploy, monitor, and operate is their responsibilities, okay? You can't release, deploy, monitor, and operate until planning, coding, building, and testing is done on the development side. Okay. We know about the benefits of DevOps is basically faster time to production. So let me read this conclusion. DevOps is an increasingly popular methodology that aims to connect developers and operators into a cohesive unit. It uniquely differentiated from traditional IT operations and components. Complements. Agile. So Agile is another framework that DevOps is derived from. That's been cultivated out of it. So would you consider your IT department to be DevOps adopters? No, in reality, DevOps doesn't work in every single process, but it is a very proven process, okay? All right, I don't think anybody else has anything to add to this. Well, let me go to the next item on the docket real quick. All right, Code Cloud. This is next item on the docket is from Code Cloud. 5 best DevOps tools every beginner should know. Jenkins is still considered as the most popular CI, continuous integration tool in the DevOps space. With Jenkins, it is effortless to achieve visual ops. To convert a CLI, command line interface, into a GUI button, click wrap up the script as a Jenkins job, and it is done. Okay, so that's what Jenkins is for, CI, continuous integration. Docker and containers are a gift to the DevOps space, a new way of packaging and running software that has completely revolutionized software development and delivery these days. Docker helps development teams around the world to build, package, manage, and secure apps anywhere, and allows teams to easily collaborate, making software delivery and release an effortless task. One most prominent advantage of using Docker is it provides consistent environments across the delivery pipeline. So there are Docker images, and then there's the Docker, with containerization as well, which is what Docker really is. And so Docker is one of those tools that should always be kept in your toolbox for from a DevOps perspective. So you're going to have Jenkins, you're going to have Docker. Ansible is an open source software automation tool that automates software provisioning, configuration management, and application deployment. Ansible has become a common name among developers for DevOps and IT automation. So Ansible is a critical tool. You really can't do anything without Ansible unless you use something like Puppet or Chef. But in this regard, Ansible is a critical tool in terms of DevOps too. Kubernetes is a powerful open source platform for container organization that automates the deployment and management of containerized applications. So you would use Kubernetes and Docker in the same realm, okay? Kubernetes pushes out the containers and orchestration, and Docker does have the ability to be managed by Kubernetes. And then we go to OpenShift. OpenShift is Red Hat's open source cloud development platform as a service, which allows developers to create, test, and run their applications and deploy them to the cloud without any hassle. Red Hat saw $1 million opportunity and shifted its focus towards this tool, Kubernetes-based container platform, OpenShift, in 2018, which was the right move. The OpenShift capabilities are designed to make it easier for developers to work with containerized platforms such as OpenStack, Docker, and Kubernetes. Okay, so OpenShift is a tool that basically governs all of your deployments into the cloud. And so, although there's other tools out there that can match it, I mean, OpenShift is Red Hat's baby right now. So definitely something you want to keep on the radar and in your toolbox if you're going to get into DevOps, which brings me to the next item on the docket. I think everybody's going to like this.
Yeah, can I hop in there right fast, Mike?
Go right ahead.
Or no, I was just gonna say, yeah, OpenShift basically replaced Docker. They removed Docker from the repositories in Red Hat. So yeah, I just wanted to add to what you were saying. You right on point though. I mean, all those applications or all that software is very important, especially like Ansible. That's the automation piece. I know you said all that or whatever, but it's really simple to understand. It uses the YAML coding language or language or whatever in the back end to push updates to systems and all that stuff. So Ansible is important as far as the automation piece. So I mean, go ahead. You already said everything. So go ahead, man. I apologize.
Yeah, here's the last item on the docket, and everybody should actually jump on this. What was posted a couple of days ago on the Linux Foundation. Cloud Engineer Bootcamp. This program will prepare an absolute beginner to learn the most in-demand cloud computing skills in about 6 months. Start your career today. So they discounted this up until June 17th, okay? $5.99 intro price. So what are you getting out of all of this? Okay.
Is it 50% off?
Oh man. So week 1, you get essentials of Linux system administration. Okay. If you're not really familiar with Linux, you might want to go to Keep It Techie's channel. He talks about Linux a lot on there. Week 5, you're going to be going over Linux networking and administration. Okay. Week 10, you want to go in, they're going to take you into Linux Foundation Certified System Administrator exam. This is actually really quick, okay? This is a boot camp, so keep that in mind. Everything is bang, 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 bang. They're not waiting for you. If you get left behind, you get left behind. But in this is structured in a way that they're taking you to the certification within the first 10 weeks, okay? And then week 11 is containers fundamentals, which is what we talked about earlier, Docker and Kubernetes, okay? We can look at this real quick. In our app-driven world, containers and microservices are the perfect home for an application. Containers bundle an application with all of its dependencies and deploy it on the platform of our choice. So this is a fundamentals, session that they have for week 11. And then week 15 is DevOps and SRE fundamentals, okay? We talked about that just in the last article, DevOps and SRE. It's very critical. And then we have Kubernetes in week 19, Kubernetes fundamentals, okay? We talked about Kubernetes in the last article, but Kubernetes goes hand in hand with containers because Kubernetes is the orchestration aspect behind it. Can't deploy containers on its own. You really need something like Kubernetes to actually be a part of that. And then week 24, they have CKA, which is Certified Kubernetes Administrator, very critical in cloud computing. You can't be in cloud computing and not understand Kubernetes at all. It's impossible. Okay. $5.99, you really can't beat that. I know COVID has a lot of people locked down at home. If I was getting into IT right now, I would jump on this. Okay, I would jump on this. Especially if I'm coming from help desk, I'm jumping on this.
Hey, Mike, let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
And it's dealing with this, sir. Is this good for people that are just getting into IT, or should they have some type of experience or some other knowledge before actually hopping into this course? And is it for someone, or do you have that information if it's for someone that's never been in IT before?
No,
Or
you
should,
need to have been in IT at some point.
okay,
So that's
yeah,
why I said if I was coming from help desk, this is exactly the path I would take.
okay, I
This
got
is the path I would take if I was coming from help desk. Okay, if I've been on help desk for a year, this is exactly the path I'm going into. If I'm just going into help desk, this is out of my sphere of influence and my ability to comprehend what's going on. This is too long. It's too long of a pathway. So if I'm on a help desk and I'm coming off, you know, this is something I'm looking forward to because of the timing, right? It's only 24 weeks. Okay. You spend a few hours a night, you know, going through, you know, the boot camp. Can't really beat that. You can't really beat that. And plus your anxiety from working, or, you know, there's a difference between somebody who's been in IT and who hasn't been in IT. There's gonna be a lot of anxiety issues going into IT if you've never been in it before. A platform like this or a boot camp like this would scare the crap out of you because it's moving too fast and there's too much going on at once to really understand that. But if I'm in help desk for a year and I'm comfortable interfacing with people and really talking with people and really understand the ITIO, ITSM, IT service management framework, you know, that's going to play a significant role as to how you do in the boot camp. Okay. That's going to determine it. I think, let me read this part too, because this is actually pretty critical. It says how boot camp works. It's self-paced. It requires 15 to 20 hours a week for 6 months and extensive hands-on lab and assignments. That's actually pretty good. 12 months of access to online courses, can't beat that. Dedicated forum discussion forum. 12 months exam eligibility. CKA and LFCS included in the free retake. So if you fail it the first time, you don't have to pay for it a second time around. They'll give you a free retake. Failing it the first time may not be such a bad idea anyways, because you kind of know what's on the exam the second time around because you failed it the first time. So it's not such a bad idea. Everybody fails an exam. That's really complicated. I failed a couple exams, so but I passed it the second time around. PDF certificate and digital badges, so you can link these sort of, you know, this boot camp to your actual LinkedIn account. And everybody else will see it that you completed it. So office hours, so 8 to 5. 30-day money back guarantee, can't beat that. This is dope. You know, that's why I wanted to add it to the docket. I think it's important.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, it is. It's very good stuff, man. It's coming from a very credible organization, which is the Linux Foundation. Like I said, if I was coming from help desk or desktop support, I'd be looking at this.
Hey, Mike, did you take that exam yet?
Which exam?
I remember you purchased what was it, the systems administration one or the bundle?
Oh, I
taken?
got this whole thing, this cloud engineering bootcamp. I got this whole thing. So I haven't taken it yet. I still need. I actually just updated my SSCP and a couple of certifications just the other day. So I'm just now getting around to a lot of this stuff, man. Traveling between the continent and doing these live streams and stuff like that. I'm just now getting around to this. So I won't start this until next week.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. But I've had this for a while, so. All right.
Dion Alexander said he was going to go ahead and grab that. Yeah, shout out to him, man. Take advantage.
Yeah. Can't go wrong with this, man. This is. Let's look up on Indeed. What does a cloud engineer really go for?
Oh, snap. Here we go.
Yeah. I got an opportunity to actually work at what do you call it? Amazon as a cloud engineer. I actually had to turn it down. I wasn't going to move to Seattle. I just didn't see the value in that. But
you know what?
Yeah. Look at this. Indeed has Black Lives Matter. Interesting.
It's on Amazon too, man. I saw it last night. I was like, whoa.
Yeah. The new feminist movement.
That's I was gonna say for another. Open chat, perhaps.
Maybe.
All right.
So they're talking anywhere between $0 to $250,000 for a cloud engineer role. I mean, this is pretty critical. Cloud engineer. Look here. Let's look at this one. I need to set a. Really don't like the way Indeed does this. But anyways, let's just go with this. The pay is $100,000 to $110,000 a year for this cloud engineer job as an Azure cloud engineer. Okay. Now the Linux Foundation doesn't necessarily go over Azure, so keep that in mind. It's all in the same realm, but it talks more about Linux than it does about Azure. That being said, that's the going rate, $110K per year. Okay, this is in Atlanta. Okay, where cost of living is significantly cheaper than the North. You can live pretty comfortably on $110K down there. All right. What else is going on here? Oh, look, a Linux system engineer with General Dynamics. What's the salary here?
Dude, my mom used to work for them like back in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's defense contracting and aerospace and defense contracting.
Yeah, I used to work for them. It's a real good company.
Mm-hmm. AWS cloud engineer. Okay.
Here's that Amazon.
Well, it's not at Amazon, but it is AWS cloud engineer. I think the skills are transferable from that boot camp. So, I don't care where you go. You're gonna have to be, you're gonna have to go through on-the-job training. It's just a fact of life. Anybody who thinks they can hit the ground running is deluding themselves.
Yeah, and a lot of companies understand that too. That if you have those skills for a specific platform, they are transferable. A lot of what you learn is transferable. So,
and look, we have another one here: DevOps engineer, Azure DevOps engineer with Hadoop, $110K a year.
Oh, 6. We rocking with 6 on that one. 6 figs.
Yeah. So I just want to go through one more just to give an average. Here's another one, a cloud engineer. Um, all right. No, but the consensus here is that it's a six-figure role. Okay, it's a six-figure role, no matter which way you kind of slice it.
Or live damn near close to it. Like,
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, if you got certification, you can ask for max dollar, right? That's just how it works. It gives you a lot of flexibility in negotiation here.
Hey, Mike.
Yes, sir.
Have you guys, and I think I've asked this once before, but have you put like on the community tab a list of the best training platforms that you would recommend for someone to go into these particular areas?
I typically stay away from that type of stuff because some people get burned and some people don't, and I don't want to be responsible for sending somebody get burned. And it's like, we recommended it because we haven't evaluated it, right? We can't really evaluate it sometimes. Udacity is something we recommend because it's been proven in the field. It's been proven to actually work. Okay. This Brothers Bootcamp, Unlocked Bootcamp. I'll stop pitching that because somebody else in the chat said that they attended this boot camp and can vouch that it was dope. So it was good and worth it. So
yeah, we'll also vouch free code camp.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I was approached by one of these schools. I forgot, it's Intella something, and because they were trying to, I think I initially called about one thing, AWS, and they were trying to push me towards Microsoft Azure.
Yeah, because Azure is going to be the dominant player going forward.
Okay.
Yeah, they're going to be the dominant player going forward. For right now, AWS has been the contender because they're the first out of the gate back in 2007, 2008. But now, Microsoft has their, Azure platform really banging on all gears. So it's only a matter of time before they kind of skip right past AWS because most organizations that use Windows are Microsoft shops, and because Microsoft has a gold partnership program, they've been running with that for close to 25 years. Most of these shops don't want to give up their gold partnership certification, just to adopt something cheaper like AWS. They're not going to do that. There's a lot of benefits to being partnered with Microsoft, and so that's why I'm saying that the momentum is going to shift in Microsoft's favor at some point, probably by next year.
Okay. And working in this, in the university, I'm sorry, but right now with the whole COVID going on, with all this remote training, a lot of the school didn't want to pay for all these Zoom accounts, so we're using Microsoft Teams because it's already paid for. And there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that ties into the Azure environment.
Yep. Anything that's going to not add another zero to the or another digit to the to the IT, to the budget, they're going to take advantage of it. Microsoft has been good at just throwing all types of goodies at people, types of trinkets and stuff. And so that's why I'm saying that Azure is at some point is just going to come creep right behind, AWS and take them out the game. Not fully, they're not going to dethrone them, but they're actually going to push them right out the way because there's no real tangible benefit that AWS is offering over Azure, over Microsoft's Azure. And we see from this salary right here, 120, 125K, not uncommon in cloud computing. So,
and just to add to that right fast. I'm sorry, man.
No, go ahead, take it. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna add to that what he just said right fast. Especially since Microsoft has a lot of the government contracts. I mean, that's a big key in why Azure will kind of take over, like what Mike's saying. Mm-hmm. So just throwing that in there. Go ahead, Johnny Blaze. I'm sorry.
No problem. And now I'm just looking at them salaries, man. Look, it's time for me to get from behind the podium and get behind the desk.
I can imagine it, man. Where there's a will, there's a way, man. I think I think you're pretty ripe for that area, man. You still got a security clearance, so you should be good.
Yeah, because man, look, I'm sitting up here trying to grade papers right now, and I'm like, look, I'm tired. My head hurts.
Well, then you come up with a way to automate that process. Then that's how you get started.
Yep, using Python.
Hey, keep it techie. Drop your link in the chat, man, so people can see what you're doing with Linux over there, man.
Okay. Hey, I appreciate it. Let me drop it in now.
Yep. Yeah, but that's all I have for right now, man. I think that I covered everything I possibly could on this channel, on this live stream. So if you're trying to get into IT for the first time, at the entry level, we do offer IT mentorship. If you're trying to go from one IT role to another, we do offer IT coaching. Got questions about resume, cover letters, salaries, negotiations, wages. We do offer advice in that area. We just got a thumbs down, interestingly enough. All right, shalom, everyone.